Hello, craft beer friends, and welcome to season 11, episode 19 of Tap to Craft Podcast. I am Denny Luce, coming to you from Boise, Idaho, and my partner in craft, the dog whisperer, and my favorite Florida man from Tampa, Florida, Mr. Kris McKenzie. How the heck are you doing tonight? And tell us what's in your glass.
Well,
And
Denny,
introduce our guest.
just like you said, it's hard to multitask when you're trying to drink and click things. And I'm getting it. I'm doing okay. I think I'm ready. Um, but I'm doing lovely this evening. In my glass, I'm drinking a beer that was gifted to me by our friend Batman Dan. Uh, he came and visited us from Alabama, checking out this oh, stupid green screen. Of course, and there I go too. I'm using the blue side because I wanted to wear my Trek t-shirt today.
Oh, why is that?
I don't know, it was just one I haven't worn in a
Oh, okay.
while, and I
I
kind
thought
of
you just
miss.
wanted to support those Ohio breweries.
Oh, I kind of miss John, and
Yeah.
I was yeah, see, and I wanted to wear this shirt today, but it's Hazynaut IPA, if I can get it even
Uh-huh.
to kicking.
I can
But
see that. Yeah.
yeah, I'm sure you can. 10.1% hazy IPA. It's like drinking pineapple orange juice. And well, if you can't tell, I really liked it. Um, but that's what's in my glass this evening. But we also have a guest with us tonight, Mr. Matt Knight, all the way from Rochester, New York. And Matt, how are you doing this evening?
I'm after the miracle to get here with my internet
Right?
situation. It's good to be here. So
Mm. What's
as for
uh
what,
what's in your glass?
well, right now I'm going cheap. I'm in my can right now because I when I was trying to diagnose my internet situations, I was sort of busted open a good old nice cheap Genesee Brewery specialty, the Honey Brown, which is formerly known as the JW Dundee's Honey Brown
Oh,
Lager. So,
okay. All right.
but I got something else to have a little later. It's a little stronger and
Okay.
a little
So are you
nicer.
saying you need to drink stronger things when you're talking to Denny and myself?
I mean, I have to look at you guys. It's bad enough as is.
That's
Oh,
right.
Talking
That's
just,
right.
wow.
I don't know. I don't know. Chris is a handsome gentleman.
It's the green screen.
I just shaved my beard off the other day, so
Oh,
I don't
come
know. I'm feeling all
on. You should have
baby face.
kept it. You should have
Now,
kept it for.
come when you have to start like grooming it, it goes away. I ain't got time for that.
I hear you. I do. I
Yeah.
do when I shave it during summer. It is nice that my shower routine at least saves me 5 minutes of time of combing it and drying it off and stuff. It does save time. It's
You
nice to
save
just get
so
out and
much money
get
in
going.
shampoo too, I bet. So, what, what
Yeah.
about you, Denny? What's in your glass this evening?
Well,
And
I
how are
am
you?
drinking. I'm great. I'm great. It's Monday. Mondays can be good or bad. This was a good Monday.
Okay.
It was a different Monday than I'm used to because some things came up, but it's okay. But I am drinking Mother Earth. Having trouble with my light
There
here.
you go.
Mother Earth's all-purpose Pilsner. I talked about this beer, I think, last episode or episode before last. I had that 22-ounce bottle that they submitted to Great American Beer Fest,
Yeah.
and I mentioned that just that weekend they got it into six packs. And so I had to pick up a six pack of this beer because I enjoyed it so much. And I thought it would be a great beer to drink along with our other beers. I also have the latest Mother Earth Beer Company's Project X Series X. This is called. I think it's called. Shoot, this is my cooler. Free Fall or nah,
I would
I'm gonna look at it.
show us when you get to it.
Well, in case I can't, it's
Okay.
yeah, Free Fall. I was right. Free Fall Hazy. This is the latest Project X beers. So I'll be drinking that. And I'll also be drinking a Sierra Nevada's hazy little rad thing.
Oh, they brought out a
Nice.
new
Yeah,
little
it's a
thing.
special release one. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's actually a really good hazy. I think it's one of their better little hazy things
Okay.
variants. So
Well, all right.
I've been a listener. So anyone that doesn't know
Hmm.
Matt Knight, he's been around, listener extraordinaire for many many years.
Since before
Enjoyed
the Flux
having.
the Pose beer exchange.
That's right. The
He's old
Flex the
school, guys.
Pose beer exchange. Yes.
You say
In
I'm
fact,
ugly, he's old.
yeah. In fact, Matt and I we actually exchanged beers. That actually made it safely to each other, which was good. that was nice. But also you joined us during our pandemic Zoom meetings, and
Yeah.
that was fun too. And so yeah, just good to have Matt. If any of our other listeners want to come and join us like Matt did, you can do that. We do have a guest interview button on our website at tapscraft.com. You click it and find a date that's open, and select it. And we will have you on just like we were having Matt. We're going to learn. Well, you know what? Before we get started in here, let me let anyone new listening to the show know what Tap to Craft podcast is all about. We are an educational podcast focused around celebrating all things craft beer because we want to assist you, our listener, along in your craft beer journey and adventures. And you are listening to episode 279. I forgot to change that.
Wow.
But I know.
The number gets bigger and
recording
bigger.
on Monday, March 31st, 2025. And yes, we are live on Facebook. If you'd like to join us during our recording session, you can do that on the Monday prior to release at 8:30 Eastern Time. And in this episode, we are going to learn all about Mr. Matt Knight's craft beer journey, as well as the beer scene in his local area. Let's find out what's going on down there in the New York, Rochester, New York area. Find out about the brew scene from Mr. Matt Knight. And we're also going to be doing an article finding out what is needed for breweries to succeed in 2025. It kind of goes along with what we talked about with our beer trends for 2025. It kind of, has some similar focus on that. And I just thought it would be a good article for us to go over and say what we like, dislike about what this article is saying, and get Matt's intake or input on it as well. And of course, you can count on some great beer conversation. So let's get that conversation started and learn about Matt's craft beer journey. So I know you know how this goes, Matt. You've probably listened to a few of our interviews before, but we always want to find out how people started up, what their craft beer origin stories are. So how did you discover craft beer? And let us know what your gateway beer into craft beer was.
All right. As for how I got started, I mean, when I was 20, I didn't start drinking until I was allegedly didn't start drinking until I was 21. I mean, 'cause you couldn't do that
Well, of
before
course.
then.
Okay.
That would have been illegal, So there was not a bunch of like Icy Light growing up in, the greater Pittsburgh area, and then going to college drinking 40s of Genesee for the pick up for $1.25. But actually went to school in Northeast Ohio, not far from Akron in good old Youngstown.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm a YSU grad.
Go Pens.
So when it's Gwins, it's Gwins.
The Penguins.
Pens is for hockey. No, but so by then, by the time I hit the legal age, we'll go that way. That was kind of when you started having one of the craft. Well, that would have been 2001. Just to kind of point how old I am. So I'm still older than Kris, I believe.
I graduated college the same year.
Oh, I didn't graduate that year. So what was nice about being in Northeast Ohio, my gateway actually was probably one of my go-to porters, and that would actually be the Edmund Fitzgerald by Great Lakes. Being in Youngstown, you have had access to Great Lakes Brewing, Great Lakes beers.
You mean this right here?
Yes, the Eddie Fitz. That's it.
Wow, Denny.
Look, I had that ready. Like I knew what your gateway beer was.
So that's kind of first off, if anyone's seen any of the stuff, my dark beers are my preferred beers. But yeah, it's kind of started with some of the Great Lakes stuff. But one of the things that really pushed it through for me was at the time there was a microbrewery in the old train station. I want to say it was called B&O or Y&O. It doesn't exist anymore. I think they turned it into a rec hall. And I went to school for geology, and there's two kind of geology majors. Those that are so extremely smart and nerdy they can't associate with anybody, and everybody else just really likes their beer. So there were several meetings with professors and classmates that were happening down at the microbrewery there for a bit. So I couldn't tell you what beers they had. I just tried something different, Of course, I was mostly drinking the stuff from the brewery there, outside of getting some Great Lakes. Maybe go to Cleveland, somebody would grab something. But my my craft beer, I don't say my exploration grew even more once I moved down to Atlanta.
Hmm.
Um, just at the time there was brewery, with I almost said Clearwater, with Sweetwater down there. There
Hmm.
was a bunch of other breweries that were popping up, and what helped was my neighbor would do beer tastings all the time. So I
Oh,
just learned
nice.
a bunch of different stuff. I don't even know how to explain it. Because at the time you had all the breweries were coming in. I almost said hopping because you had like Long Hair Brewing came outside of Atlanta. All the breweries were hopping up there at that time. This was probably around 2006 ish. Um, but the one I did skip over is probably one of my favorite oatmeal stouts that I did have back in Ohio, and that would probably be the Samuel Smith's oatmeal stout, which is
Hmm.
fantastic. And honestly, I don't think I've ever had a Samuel Smith's beer I haven't liked. Um, but there were still the cheap beers and stuff. I mean, I say that as I'm drinking a Honey Brown 12 pack I bought for 11.50.
The steel, I love it.
It's a solid beer for $11.
Yeah.
Less
And
than a buck a can.
and even better, our listener Jesse said geology parties are the best. Yeah.
Yes, there would be different beers, and some people bring in the liquor, and yeah, a lot of times you don't remember half the party. Uh,
So Matt, you've mentioned Genesee and you're drinking Genesee, and I know that back in the days, especially back, oh, probably before 2000, but the 90s and then maybe early 2000s, it was known as a cheap college beer, right?
yeah, it still is,
It
kind
still
of.
is, but
The irony here, the people in Rochester, they drank it so much growing up, like
mhm.
as partying, that they can't. Some people can't even drink it anymore. They moved over to Labatt, that imported Labatt that's brewed in the Genesee brewery. But
Yeah, yeah. But the funny thing is I've had Genesee beers you've provided, you've sent me. I've had Genesee beers that I've had when I've traveled east. And I'll be honest with you, I always had heard, negative things about cheap beer, but I mean, I find the beers actually really drinkable and enjoyable. And with a price tag, maybe that makes it even more enjoyable because you're not getting raw, your pocketbook's not, left at the counter when you leave the store. Um,
first off, their seasonals are amazing. I
mhm.
mean, I wouldn't say even more like the best. Their Jenny Bach just came out, which is odd because it came out a little bit ago. Well, actually, that's coming off the shelves. Actually, the Ruby Red Kolsch is coming back
Yeah,
now.
yeah, that one's good.
But forever they were known for their Jenny Bach. That was kind of their only seasonal, from what I understand, and a lot of that's only available in the greater Rochester area. If I'm wrong, someone please correct me. I didn't grow up here. Um, but anyhow, like their seasonal stuff always runs like $11 a 12 pack. They did a Schwarz beer for a bit. They have a
Oh,
citrus
nice.
pills
Wow.
that's out. Uh, um, one time they did their cream ale, but they did something. What was it? They used a different hops with it. I can't remember what it was. It was really good. At one point, they put a different, like a mosaic hop sampler out with four different beers that they only brewed at the brew house.
Hmm.
Because when the craft beers scenery was coming big here, when at the time Governor Cuomo passed this law, like giving all this money out for people to open breweries, like Genesee opened a tap house and they have all these experimental beers that you can only
Hmm.
get there.
Yeah.
I mean, for a while they were bottling their peanut butter porter they were making and stuff like that, which I haven't seen that in years. Um, but the thing with Jenny, I don't know. It's very inexpensive and it's a good price. I mean, I like I said, I got a 12 pack of this for 11.50, and then I went to the day before. I was at my. I hope Lindsay doesn't hear this. I bought like a pint of not a can, geez, a crowler pint of a mead because I've never had mead before. I'm
Oh,
waiting to pop out one open, and like four other beers, and it was like $32. So, I mean, a 12 pack for 12 or four or five beers for 30. You get it.
yeah. No, no, I
But
understand because I just had so today's my daughter's birthday and my wife Sarah went to Pocatello to spend the day yesterday and today with her. And of
and you
course
stayed
when
just the podcast?
no, I stayed because I have to work.
Yeah, I feel you on that.
And we were supposed to go next weekend to Mover, but then that got postponed maybe to the weekend after. So I didn't want to take off of work now and then on Friday as well. But then at the last minute that got canceled. That's a whole nother thing. But of course, while my wife is there. She's got to go by Jim Dandy Brewing and pick up beers. Well, like you said, I got two crowlers and one 4-pack, and it was $47, for
Wow.
for 6 beers
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
So I mean, but you pay for the quality and the fact that I have to, get it while I can,
Yes.
and because I can't get it all the time. So
I
That's
mean,
what I say. That's what I catch them doing. I spend my 50, $60, and then I grab a couple 12 packs of Jenny in there, and it's like
yeah,
my Jennies are my daily drinkers, and
that's
then
right.
yeah,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
gotta spread it out a little bit. I mean, I haven't really gone and purchased beer in quite a while. It's like my biggest purchase today was, groceries, and we dropped about 500-600 bucks on groceries today. It
Hmm.
what you get 4 dozen of eggs.
No, 3 dozen. It was a little more expensive here in Florida, but no, we went and got, a few packs of chicken breasts, a few packs of, ground beef. We got basically stocked up the fridge, and it was just like, holy shit, we spent $500-600 on groceries today.
Yeah.
Can I tell you a little hack about buying groceries?
Sure.
You got a restaurant depot near you, you can get a 1 day pass.
I can get a pass because I have a reseller's permit.
No, then never mind. Because if you need hamburger, I noticed it's like $2 cheaper per pound here than it is at the stores, but you got to buy a 10-pound pack.
Yeah, that's what we
Yeah.
did. Bought a
Never
tube.
mind. Yeah, I know the tube. That's what we feed the dogs.
They call those chubs.
That's what she said.
Well, no, that's and
That's
that's
what she
funny. That's
said.
what Dan's drinking. He's drinking Old Chub
Oh, from
Oscar
wait,
Blues?
from
from
Oscar
Oscar
Blues.
Old
Blues.
Chub?
Yeah,
Nice, nice.
yeah,
That's a
yeah,
that's a good callback beer right there. From
yeah. Very much. But yeah,
like
you got
the first craft beer in a can that I drank was Old
yeah.
Chub.
His wife Jessie said, "You know you're old when you're excited to talk about groceries." Yeah, Jessie, we were talking about getting a new washing machine today, and I was all giddy.
Did you get it? Wait, you want to make it real good? Did you at least get a Speed Queen?
No,
Speed
Spend the
no,
money on a Speed Queen.
no. We go get the ones that are, 250 bucks from some guy who buys them broken and fixes them, and then 3 years later we just give it back to him. He gives us another one.
That works.
Yeah. Anywho, let's get back onto the beer. Let's get back onto the beer. So, Matt, do you have a favorite beer style or what? I mean, it sounds
I,
like Genesee has been your go-to for quite a
it's
while.
it's cheap. You see a lot more drink because of it, but my beers, I like my dark beers. I still dabble with IPAs a little. There's a handful of sours I can do. I'm getting old. My stomach can't handle the sours.
Mhm.
Start to sound like Denny over there, like, oh, I'm
Yeah.
all burping
Try-
and start yelling at the clouds. But no, I still love a nice stout, a nice porter. I mean, as for stouts, I mean, my next beer, I'm sitting here waiting, letting it warm up. I have an as above, so below by Mortalis, which is about
Oh
20
Ooh.
yeah.
minutes for me. Um,
Okay. I get
it's a
Mortalis here.
10% imperial stout brewed with coffee, marshmallow, and peanut butter.
Wow.
So
Sounds very rich
Sweet.
we'll find out.
and
I've never
sweet.
had it.
Yeah. Yeah. You're
I
gonna be
just
all
That's
wired after that.
I cracked open a reef donkey. That's about what I had.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. So how about a style that you disliked at first but have since grown to enjoy?
uh my default answer that would have to be an IPA. I mean, I only thing I've learned I can't do the West Coast IPAs.
Okay.
If it
You
tastes
like
like
the
I'm drinking a
hazies.
pine tree, I'm out.
So
Um,
so they have a new West Coast that's not as harsh as the earlier one. So those you might enjoy those. A little more tropical, little not so heavy in the bitterness and in pine.
I'm, I'm slowly expanding.
Yeah.
Ever since I started doing those beer reviews, that's why I kind of started doing them because it gave me an excuse to go outside of my, like, oh, this looks interesting, this is weird, and grab that. I mean, it gave me an excuse to spend $25 on a bottle of Goose Island Vanilla Riot sitting in my fridge right now.
Yes.
Wow. Nice.
Yes.
You should break
Lindsay,
that
please
out.
don't listen to this. I'm probably going to record that before TikTok dies and port everything over to YouTube.
Uh,
Well, you better get it in like tomorrow because God only knows what's going to happen
I think they said the
with.
4th
Okay.
is
So
the
you
deadline.
got a little bit of time, but that means you have some drinking ahead of you.
No, I'll just download them all and put them in another folder on YouTube and decide if I want to do it on YouTube. It's just TikTok's just easy. I can edit from my phone and boom, boom, boom. I don't have
Yeah,
to
that's true.
buy
That's true.
software. some of us don't have money to be buying for, annual subscriptions to Zoom and stuff, because we got to spend that money on beer.
Listen, the dogs pay for it, brother. Thank you, Tampa Pet Services LLC. All right, so you're spreading the style love a little bit everywhere when you can, and then it makes for a good fodder for the beer reviews. That's pretty awesome.
Well,
Well,
and so even before that, I was all over the place because if I look at Untapped, when I actually check them in, it's like stout one time, Reddit on another time, They still need, I still say it's brewers, please make more rye beers,
Yes,
please.
yes, I
Even if they're in
agree.
small batch, please. I'm begging you. I am on my knees begging. Look at this face. I'm begging. There you go, audio listeners. Look at that. You don't want to look at this
Yeah,
face. Trust me.
yeah. No, I
well,
agree.
then
Rye beers are good.
yeah, no, they definitely are, and they don't get enough love. But what about a brewery that doesn't get enough love, Matt?
I would have said wood kettle, but they're not. They don't exist anymore.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know if I said that on the air. In case I didn't. I don't know if I said the pre-show or not. But
No, we didn't.
brewery.
We weren't live on that one.
There's a brewery 5 minutes from my house, and they had a beer that the Brother Bear
Yeah, it was like
brown ale a couple years ago. Won
little bear, little brother bear, something like that.
something like, yeah, it won best beer and show for the
Hmm.
New York State Brewers Association stuff. It's a great, fantastic brown ale, and they just closed a couple months ago. So I guess
Yeah.
it is safe to say they don't get enough love.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh,
one of there's the up and coming brewery around here, which I haven't been to it, but I've bought some of their stuff canned. Would be Strange Bird.
Hmm.
They've won a
okay.
couple awards and stuff. I've only had like two or three things from them, so I can't. That's one that's getting a lot of awards, like in terms of through New York State. It looks like. Um, so who doesn't get enough love? You know who doesn't get enough love is it used to be the best kept secret in Rochester, and then they moved down the Park Ave, and that would be Iron Tug Brewing.
Wow.
Iron
Never heard of
Tug.
Iron Tug.
They're
Talk to
local.
us.
They're small. They they put out a great porter. Um, They have an IPA that's solid. I'm sorry, I'm blanking on the names of them right now that I'm talking about them. They used to be over for all you Rochester people. They used to be in the old firehouse on West Ridge over near Kodak Center, and now they moved down the Park Ave. I haven't been there since they moved, and it's been years since they moved down there because I used to live like off in over by where their old location. So, but yeah, that's probably a very underrated brewery in the area here that needs a little more love.
Well, not to like sidestep, but Denny, what's a brewery that doesn't get enough love from you? Or what's a brewery that you don't think gets enough love?
Um. Oh wow, you put me on the spot here.
Yeah,
Now I
well,
feel like now
I
I
was
know
gonna
how you
say Jim
guys
Dandy.
feel.
That's what he always talks about.
no, he can't use
Uh,
Jim Dandy. Look, hey,
so here's what's funny about when you say Jim Dandy is that when I mention Jim Dandy to people locally, like even other breweries, they haven't either heard of Jim Dandy or had their beer, which is amazing because they don't get outside of Pocatello. So if you don't go to Pocatello, you're not going to get their beer. Or if you don't go to the Idaho Falls, there's a big northwestern brewers festival that goes on, and they enter into awards there, and they usually bring home a couple. Unless you go to there, you're not going to get their beer either. So, I mean, Jim Dandy, I think, doesn't get enough love just because it is pretty local. Right now, I would have said Jim's or not Jim. Well, I say Jim State Brewing is also they make some he makes some good beer, and I love the $5 price tag, which really helps these days. But also Burt's Brewing.
yeah.
I mean, I they're brand new, right? They've been 16, 17 months open now, I think,
Oh
almost a
wow.
year and a half. And they're starting to make a name. In fact, we just had the Tree Fort Music Festival, and they were asked to provide the beers, they're the brewery, the main brewery for Tree Fort, and so they made a special beer just for Tree Fort, and then provide a few others that different venues would have at each of the places. And That's a big. I mean, for them to get that honor
Yeah,
so so early in their career. So I think they are starting to get, the, um, you know, the love that they deserve, and they're making some great beer. But I'll say Jim Dandy. I think they are underrated for the quality of beer that they put out.
that's good. That's a good one.
You know what? I feel bad. I didn't. I should shout out the local brewery that opened up where I grew up. The little dinky town that I grew up in, Ohio, Squid's Brewing, which I have Squid's
Yeah, you had their
Brewery, which I have the
shirt
shirt
on.
for. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're actually located in the building that was my old dentist office. So if you're
Ooh,
ever in
Oh
there,
wow.
and you could probably get there in about 35 minutes from Pittsburgh. So if for some reason you end up outside of Steubenville, Ohio, in Toronto, yeah, if you ever heard of Toronto, Ohio, I will give you $1,000 probably because no one's ever heard of that town.
pay up,
Um,
brother.
you didn't hear of it until from me.
I lived there for only not Toronto, but I lived there for 15 years.
What, Ohio, Akron? That ain't Toronto.
Yeah, but my ex-wife was from the Youngstown area.
This is still south of this is still 60 miles south of Youngstown, man.
Anywho, Denny, what other questions do you have for
We
him?
got
Wait.
one
Look,
more.
look, real quick. This is gonna look like a good stout. This is pouring like motor oil. This is
Yeah,
amazing.
it's gonna be thick and it's gonna be sweet. So
Yeah.
you need some water to chase that down with. But
No, I
while
don't.
you're
I'll just get
pouring,
another beer.
yeah,
Another
well,
Genesee will just follow
while
that
you're
one.
pouring that beer, is there a brewery, a beer style, or a beer that is no longer around that you wish would make a comeback? You can
Um,
choose one of each or just one of them,
And you have to
or
answer while
however
you're
you want.
pouring.
Yeah.
Answer why I'm pouring. I already said they need more rye beers. Um,
No, no,
I.
no. That's no longer around.
You know what? Locally, that's no longer around, but the brewery is still around. The straight roar box porter, because all they make is the vanilla porter, because that one sells. The regular
Oh,
porter
so
is
just a plain Jane
fantastic.
Porter. Okay.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's a straight up porter. It's a very good, but I mean, very good, very solid porter by the book. It's like I've learned a lot of things I like or things that aren't necessarily reinventing the wheel, but they just do it really well. That
Hmm.
that so they need he needs to bring that back over there.
There you go. There, you called it. You called it the porter, the straight up porter. Don't put these
Straight
Just the
up.
adjuncts
roar
in there.
box porter.
Just
They got that vanilla porter they put out all the time, but he
yeah,
said nobody the regular porter doesn't sell, the vanilla does. I'm like,
yeah,
come on, put it in a small batch, please.
yeah. That's the one thing I hear most from brewers is, and not. I mean, we heard it from Chris Baker from Mother Earth Beer Company. You know, he says if the brewers had their way, there would be beers that are made that we, because they just want to brew these beers and they love these beers, but
Hmm.
because you can't sell them, they don't, they can't brew them, and that's such a
Yep.
sad thing when, and it, that's it's a game, it's a not a game, it's a business, and you have to start thinking about, if you want to survive, especially in these times, you've got to be
Yeah.
smart with how you spend your money and what you can get out. That's why I love it when breweries have small, they have their big, because everything about a brewery is they want to start from one size and then build up to be brewing a bunch of beer at one time. But the breweries that when they upgrade to their 20 barrel systems, they throw in a three barrel system to produce pilot line stuff
Yep.
and to do experimental beers. That's what is great, because then you can get some of those beer styles that don't sell 20 barrels worth, but will sell 3 barrels worth, and around the area, and that's just a smart thing. But yeah, I hear more than anything, people, brewers love drinking Schwartz beer, but it's hard to sell Schwartz beer. They love drinking, browns and reds and things, but those are tougher to sell them all. And other establishments that are buying your beer in kegs, they want IPAs. They want, and they're starting to get to where they're buying different types of lagers now too. And that's the other thing that's great about right now is it's no longer just a lager. Now it's different subcategories of lager that people are wanting to have more of. Helles lagers and Dortmunders and you know Bachs and Weizenbachs and all these different styles. They want these specialty lagers as well, which is great because lager almost died, and now it's making a comeback. And the more
Huge
craft
comeback.
breweries are are brewing them. So I'm pretty happy with that. But we got sidetracked again. Okay, so while you're
I derail even my own podcast that I'm
that's
on.
okay.
So
That's
don't
okay.
sweat it.
Well, while you're sipping on that beer,
It's pretty
Kris
good, by the way.
and I would like to thank all of our Patreon supporters because this episode is brought to you in part by our satisfied Patreon supporters like Mike Allen, Bill Slimmer, Amanda and Kevin Argour, Mike Blanchard, Tara Carlson, Jim Kutzel and Alex Fuchs, and Eric Scotty Ward, who are our virtual producers. And Tom Byrne, Jeff Seiler, Johan Halberg, Jad Lamassa, Mark Church, Eric Grownley, and Batman Dan, who want to buy us a virtual beer. If you enjoy the content we provide, we invite you to support the show by toasting your host or buying us a virtual beer or even becoming a virtual producer. You can explore the options on our support page by visiting patreon.com/tapthecraft. Hey, Kris.
Hey, Denny.
We got a couple voicemails.
Speaking of Mike Blanchard, yeah.
Oh, is he on there?
He is. He just said, people really sleep on Duff beer. It's great, though. I said, yeah.
What does Duff Man say about that?
I almost said, oh, yeah, but that's not it. I don't remember what he says. But I told him, I said, I know Homer and Barney love it.
Oh. All right. Well, speaking of Mike Blanchard, he decided to leave us a couple voicemails on their little visit to a Oregon brewery. So, Kris, why don't you go ahead and queue up.
I'm going to click the button. How about we just do that? Here it goes.
Hey, Denny. This is Mike, Dean, and his friend Jason. And we got Bella here, too, as our driver.
Hi, Denny.
We're at Oregon City Brewing. I've never been here before. It's one of Jason's favorites, and I see why. They got food carts. They have an amazing selection of taps. We've tried some flights, and then we just tried flight roulette, where we let Bella fill out the tickets.
I like that idea.
And so we have no idea what we're going to be drinking now. You'll see the results on Untappd. Anyway, if you haven't been here yet, next time you come over, we are definitely going here, brother.
All right.
Anything to add?
Try the botanical animal.
Botanical animal.
Botanical animal.
What a name.
What's going to come up?
Yeah, call them
It tastes like a Moscow Mule. It's very good. But they got a great selection of taps here. And if you're anywhere in the Oregon City area, give it a shot. Bella, final parting thoughts?
Yeah, come here. Don't get the sodas.
Sweet and simple.
Yeah, the sodas weren't hit hard.
Bang.
All right, later.
Bad sodas. Okay, so that was the lead up. They're at a brewery, Oregon City Brewing, and drinking flights. And they left off with Bella, Mike's young daughter, underage daughter, Dee Dee, designated driver. She's driven for us before when we've been down there. It's great. She's great. She's a great driver. And she picked the flights. So the next voicemail will talk about whether she was a hit or a miss. So
I want to the flight roulette. Oh,
Yeah.
I feel like, you could also get one of those wheels that you just spin it. And you got to take the flight of whatever four beers your wheel lands on. That's what you're drinking.
Yeah.
Okay. I might do that the next brewery I go to. Be like, excuse me, can we just do flight roulette and see what happens? Mike said it's a baby driver.
Baby driver.
Baby driver.
See, my wife and I's done that at one of the local cideries right down the street.
Yeah.
They have, because they sign them all numbers, and then I just use one of the apps on the phone, put all the numbers in.
And just say. Okay.
All right, so that's what we're doing next time I go to a brewery.
It's
All
worth
right.
it. Do it.
So here's the second voicemail from Mike. Mike, I hope you like hearing your own voice on the show too, buddy.
He sounds great.
Does.
Hey, Denny. We've just finished our let Bella pick the flight for us, and we've all agreed it was the best flight of the day. We all had 4 beers we haven't tried before, and we liked all of them.
Nice.
Or 3 of 4, at least.
3 or 4?
Hey, 7.
Yeah, definitely
'cause
solid
3 out of 4
choice.
ain't bad.
If you're stepping in right now to a tap room and you think you're going to pick the beer that you want, you are wrong.
You're
Sir
wrong.
or ma'am, check yourself. Let your 19-year-old daughter just go through and pick what they want
Based on the name.
and see how it goes. open your mind, try it, and you might be pleasantly surprised.
As we were.
Yes.
Bella can pick good beers. Yeah.
Definitely big shout out to Oregon City Brewing. Gonna be back here again.
Yeah.
We had some bulgogi, some
That's delicious.
some nachos,
Some shawarma fries.
some shawarma fries.
Some pizza.
You can basically sample the entire world of food here, and they have some amazing taps here. So, anything else for the good of the order?
Oh.
All right. Jason, you good? Good. Jason's favorite joint. Thank you for turning us on to this.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing.
All right. Later.
There we go. Wow.
Sounds like they had an
Sounds
awesome time.
Yeah.
I'm
And
jealous.
I'm gonna let Bella choose my beers from now on.
I'm just gonna need to Mike, I'm gonna need you to send me your cell phone number, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just take a picture and have Bella pick all my beers like the next time I go to a brewery. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Mike and Bella and Dean and Jason for sending us those voicemails. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed listening to it before the show, and I enjoyed listening on the show. So yeah, if you want to be like Mike and send us a voicemail, you can do that super easy. 208-536-3359. Too many numbers because you're not good with numbers? No problem. 208-53-ODDLY. Just program that in your phone and just yell into it, hey, call Tap to Craft Podcast, and leave us your voicemail. We'd love to hear from you.
Preferably if it's hey, call Tap to Craft Podcast.
We did have 3 other voicemails that were short, that were, I think, a crank call because they were like some kids that were talking about something, roadblocks, buy me roadblock bucks or something like that. Was that your kids, Matt?
No, Roadblocks is not in my house. No, that is not in my house. It's bad enough my youngest now has me watching the Pokemon anime, the OG ones.
Oh my gosh. Okay, but
at least he's
but yeah,
cultured.
but if you want, if you're too shy, it's okay. We'll take emails too at taptocraft@gmail.com.
Well, Denny
Or if
will.
you
I
wanna
won't.
Yeah. If you want to leave us some feedback on the Facebook page, facebook.com/taptocraft. We have our very own website at taptocraft.com where you can get the shows and different information. So go visit. And we do have a Discord server. I haven't been promoting it because I just can't get my butt on it. But I know Matt's on there. I'm not sure how
I might
often
just start drinking beer, sitting here playing stuff, and
Matt
go on
said-
Discord
and
and
Matt
do
just-
like a group
God.
chat. Yeah, and then if anyone wants to join, just nothing formal, just kind of like the Zoom calls you did during the pandemic. Just
Yeah. And of course, Matt, you're on here commenting on the show. Don't forget Discord.
yeah,
Son of a
that
bitch.
barren wasteland, it exists. It's more. You don't get all the spam. You don't get all the.
That's right. That is nice. There's
it's more curated.
Yeah, it is, and I just wish I could just.
Intimate,
I just don't
if
spend a
you
lot
will.
of time on. I just don't spend a lot of time on social media, so it's just hard for me to, to force myself. I tried. I'll still try. I'll keep it. I'll try to keep it active.
All right, here's a tip for that. Bathroom time's great for that.
All right.
You heard it here first, folks.
You heard it here.
Discord.
dirty little-
Discord.
What's it?
bathroom time.
Discord Dookie.
There it is.
Dookie Discord. All right.
All right. Well, hey, let's continue this conversation in a little bit cleaner way, because now it's time to untap the craft and see what our listeners are drinking
Yeah.
according to Untapped.
Well, guys, remember, if you want us to read, Matt Griffo said, he goes, I'll try to jump back on the old Discord. Yeah, Matt, Denny said he doesn't spend a lot of time on social media. I spend way too much time on social media, and I just can't. I'm trying. I really am.
See,
I really am.
Discord is easier because you don't get all that extra crap that distracts you. You can focus. I mean, it doesn't help if you're on like 15 Discord channels like I am, but I mean,
I think part of the
Yeah.
problem is there any way of making it so it's in a conversation instead of just, because I get lost when people
Yes.
add stuff after I get lost in the flow because it's more serial than conversation, like where it has the main topic and then people reply to that and it just goes under that. I need to have
No,
a tree, not just a
there
straight
there
line.
is a way to do that. I'm not going to jump on Discord now and figure, but
Okay, don't worry. I'll
you can
look
do it
for
through
it.
the phone and the computer, or you can
Okay.
create a
Okay.
whole topic section in per channel, and they can, yes,
Well, no,
because
they
you
can
can
do
make it
that.
where
But as far as like when I go into a topic and I say, "Hey, what's your favorite IPA?" and then people reply to it, it just goes into a serial thing. Then someone else says, "What's your favorite porter?" Well, now I got porter and IPAs. You know, so the conversation it gets
yeah,
kind of
well, it helps one if
disjointed.
they actually reply. Like when you click on the question,
Mhm.
then you can put it to do a reply to that. It'll repost that and it'll tag onto that. But there's a
Okay.
way to do where it's like I'm gonna say outline style, like this whole
Yeah, outline
conversation.
style.
Yeah,
Yeah,
So
conversation
see,
style.
Denny, it's
Okay.
not you, it's everyone else that's screwing it up.
Yeah.
yeah,
Right.
Luddite.
Yeah. All right. So, guys, if you want us to read your check-ins, we read your check-ins approximately 24 hours prior to our show recording every other Monday night. But you got to follow me on Untapped at the newly labeled username K9 Hops, the letter K, the number 9 HOPS. And we are going to start out with Carla Dean checking into The Sound of Lager by Berry House Beer Company. And now I know oh my gosh, I just clicked on toast and it scrolled me all the way to the top. And it did it again. Show more.
Professional.
Excuse me while I refresh my feed in the middle of having fun.
Well, while you do that, my daughter joined us on the Facebook uh, live feed. So everyone wants to just wish her a happy birthday. That'd be
Happy
great.
birthday, Haley.
Happy
I'm
birthday!
not buying it though because she hasn't commented or anything like that.
It says she's watching. Whether she
Okay,
really is watching or not, I don't know.
that's
But
creepy.
Is it watching or stalking?
she's probably stalking me.
Hopefully it's a little bit of both because that would be awesome. So Denny, I keep clicking show more and it just throws me back up to the
No
top
more
of the
what?
page.
Oh,
Show
show
more
more
check-ins.
posts.
I've
Yeah, because it keeps throwing me back up to Matt's check-in, and oh, there it is. Oh, she said thank you. She is stalking us. Good. Um, okay, so Sound of Lager by Berry House Brewing, 4 1/4 caps. No notes for that one. Oh, screw you, Untapped. I'm trying to click
They do it
toast.
again.
Yeah, so I'm
Come
sorry,
on,
guys. I
man.
can't. It's not me, Denny. It's the stupid website. You know how
sure.
dumb it is. Anyway, next is going to be our buddy Robert, or as everyone else knows him, Chew Your
Chew your
Beer,
beer.
checking into a Pliny the Elder by Russian River Brewing Company. Simply put, yes, please. Never, ever disappoints. Gave that a 5 cap rating. Uh, Very well deserved, also. Uh, I would definitely agree with that rating. Let's see. Cody A checking into an Imperial Meltdown by Deviate Brewing. No notes, but 4 1/2 caps for that one. Alex Fuchs checking into a Totally Wired by Gigantic Brewing Company. Haven't heard
Oh,
them in a while. No notes, but a 4 cap rating from Alex on that beer. Kevin Page checking into yep, a burial beer. And do you drink
Shocker.
anything else, Kevin? Drink something else, buddy. Arcane's got some good stuff too, but what else you got to check into?
those are the only
Until
those are the only two he drinks from. Is those two
I
breweries?
know. Well, first off, I'm sure if I remember correctly, he lives like in
Orlando.
and around the Orlando area.
Yeah.
And Burial is in frickin' Asheville, which is 8+ hours away.
Mhm.
And then Arcane is an hour from me, and Orlando's a good hour plus from me. So math. Um, but Haley, we've got a lot of people wishing you happy birthday too. Jesse, Dan, Mike Blanchard, everybody saying happy birthday. Matt Griffo also said Sound of Lager is damn good. So if I
Okay.
find some spare time in my week in the next couple of days, maybe I'll run over there and go get some. But anyway, Kevin checking into an Until There Was Emptiness where there was once something left to give. I swear their frickin' beer names get longer and longer every
Does
beer
it
they
even
put out.
fit?
It did. He doesn't have space for notes, but he gave it a 4 1/4 cap rating for that beer. We got Mike Allen checking into Marion Barry, Nevada Weiss or Weiss, yeah. I'm so used to reading Jeff Weesey's name, I just already say Nevada Weesey. Um, by Imbibe Custom Brews, no notes, but 4 1/4 caps. You guys are not leaving notes like I do. Art Warcheck checking into a Lupulin Omen number 4 by Aeonian Brewing Company. Checking into the Giant Eagle Portage Crossing Market District yesterday on 330 day. So there you go, Matt. 330 day.
I get that reference.
Yeah, I still have my 330 area code in my cell phone.
I don't. That's long gone.
I don't know where Toronto is, though. But Chad
Bro.
Lamassa is checking into his what's it up to? He's up to his 500,000th check-in a row, Denny. He's got to be close.
At least. At least.
And Chad, I'm curious if you're listening, did you check into this one just for the label art? I haven't seen it yet completely, but it's a softly spoken magic spells by Single Cut Beersmiths. Lots of orange and apricot, solid imperial IPA, although at only 8.6%. I'm not sure I'd call it imperial. What do you mean not
imperial
at 8? Listen,
that's imperial.
That's plenty imperial.
Yeah. I say anything over 7.2 is imperial.
Yeah, I'd give 7. 7's a good solid baseline.
7.5, definitely imperial.
Yeah. Listen, yeah. Okay. That usually, he said, I'm not sure I'd call it imperial. That usually needs double-digit ABV for me.
Chad? I agree to that. I actually feel the same way. I got you, Chad. I got your back.
No. You just said it was fine a second ago.
No. I said no. I said no. Is that really? No, it's got to be 2 digits. No.
Imperial.
I'm gonna say for me, anything over 6 is imperial. These days.
That's what she said. 4 1/4 caps for Matt's check-in on his Imperial IPA. Next on the list, Jeff Seiler checking into a Holy Ghost by Parish Brewing Company. I had no idea Parish had so many Ghost variants. This is a big one. Triple IPA at 10%. Yes, Matt Griffo. High Lie is 7.2, actually, I believe. He said, isn't High Lie 7.5? I said, yeah, you're pretty close.
That was before, that was back when people were just being
That was back when Wayne was brewing it.
Yeah.
And it was good. Not bitter at all. Matt Griffo also said, I would call 8.5 the bottom end of Imperial.
Okay.
All right.
That rounds up to 10, right?
It rounds up, yeah. All right, so Jeff's Holy Ghost Parish Brewing Company. This big one, big fruity notes, mild boozy, and really smooth. Another tasty Ghost, 4 1/2 cap rating. Jeff, I'd love to toast this, but if I do, it's gonna, shoot me back to the top of the page. The Florida Brew Review is drinking a Rare DOS by Cycle Brewing Company.
I haven't heard Cycle for a long time.
I haven't heard Cycle either. I was chatting back and forth with the guys over at Cycle for a little bit via TikTok. I was trying to get them on the show with us, and they stopped communicating.
Oh, no.
But hey, it happens. People are busy these days. But that beer that he checked into, that's an old one. That's an old beer. Come on, Untapped. I know I checked into that beer because I have a picture of it. Anyway, no notes, no rating for that beer. I know I rated it at least a 4 1/4 cap when I checked into it. Good. Now that he took his headphones off, Matt Knight checking into a Genesee Specialty Honey Brown by Genesee Brewing Company. Would have checked in sooner, but was troubleshooting internet issues, and 3 3/4 cap rating for that one. I checked into my Hazynaut.
Okay.
And I even wrote notes on my 4 cap rating. It's like drinking tropical juice. And then last but not least, Matt Knight is checking into an As Above, So Below, I Marshmallow by Mortalis Brewing Company. He said, this is fantastic. Nice and roasty with a smooth peanut butter balancing out the hint of marshmallow. This is a nice dessert type beer that's not too sweet. Sorry for the background of the pick. Denny, it's your face. I'm sorry. 4 3/4 cap rating.
Oh my gosh, he's a funny guy.
Beer. And hit refresh. And Matt Griffo checking into a
Oh.
Hop Skull 26. Ooh, they got another Hop Skull out, Matt. That's good. Hop Skull number 26 by Coppertail Brewing Company. Picked this one up during Beer Week. Super clean and modern 4 1/4 caps. And that's what everybody's drinking, Denny.
Okay.
Oh, I was
Well,
able to I'm able to toast that one. Oh, I'm able to toast again. That's great.
okay, good. It's fixed. It's fixed. All right. Well, old Mr. Matt Knight, his bladder is not as strong as Kris and I. I'm assuming that's where he went. So
Maybe.
maybe we'll move on and start the brew buzz while he comes back, and then we can hit him up with his Rochester, New York craft beer scene after the brew buzz here. So
Okay.
we're going to get started with the brew buzz, and the brew buzz is devoted to discussing various beer-related topics. And this
Oh.
week we are going to learn all about how craft breweries can succeed in 2025. And I pulled this off of one single article. I took pieces of it. It's kind of like a sponsored article on the craft beer and brewing website called "The Modern Brewer's Guide to Success: Lessons from Industry Leaders." So I'll have a link in our show notes. You can go and click it and find all the stuff in there. But I took some stuff out of there that I wanted to talk about with Matt Knight and Kris. So I'll start it off. Kris and I will go back and forth, but we'll stop at each section and we'll talk about what they had to say and see if we agree or disagree with this is the way we feel that craft breweries need to move towards. So starting off, it says key factors for shaping modern brewing success, the trends and strategies driving success in the industry. The craft beer industry has undergone a fundamental transformation. Today, success requires breweries to be more than beverage producers. They must become destinations, entertainment hubs, and leaders for innovation in the beverage market. To stand out in a competitive market, breweries must diversify revenue streams, optimize operations, and foster strong community ties. Now, I agree with 2 of the 3 of those. The one I am concerned about is the diversify revenue streams, which we'll talk about in some of these things. But yeah, I definitely think optimizing your operations. We talked about that briefly with breweries that can't just produce a 20 barrel of their favorite beer because it won't sell. And community ties, that's the key, right?
That's
If you
huge.
can get,
Yeah.
I think one of the breweries we talked to recently, Go Get Plowed one, Tractor
Tractor.
Brewing. It took me a minute to remember. I think, what they mentioned in their interview was how they have all these different activities and things going on that just help bring the community in and bring in different parts of the community at different times so they have people coming and flowing into their spaces. And I think that's key, is to build those strong community ties. All right, Kris, how about talking about creating a destination?
I was thinking about when you said that, but I feel like this also too has to be kind of like the feeling in the environment too, because you don't want it's not just a box with some stools at a bar. Like
Yeah,
it's got to be someplace you enjoy going. So let's see what the article
yeah.
says. To create a truly memorable experience, today's successful breweries must build an atmosphere that keeps customers coming back. Tap rooms should evolve into experience-driven destinations where people not only enjoy a great pint, but also immerse themselves in a space that fosters connection and community. This is easier said than done. Creating an experience is both an art and a science, requiring careful planning and a deep understanding of the local community. Every brewery should craft a unique atmosphere that aligns with its brand identity and customer base. Let's find out how breweries can go beyond beer to thriving destinations. Now, Denny, I don't know if you pulled this article on purpose or if you even knew that Matt was from Northeast Ohio, but we're going to talk about Penguin City Brewing in Youngstown, Ohio,
Oh,
which
I've
is
had one. That's a good beer.
well, it says they're known for the energetic and unique atmosphere, and it also focuses on creating an experience that attracts locals and tourists alike. Their innovative approach includes hosting regular pop-up events and collaborating with other local businesses, building a sense of camaraderie in their community while also increasing their exposure through strategic partnerships.
Okay. So let's stop there. Since Matt, you've had Penguin City Brewing. Have you been to any of their
I
spaces?
haven't been there because it's only open in like I've been in New York now probably 12, 13 years. It's opened since then, so probably I couldn't tell you when it opened, but it did not exist when I went to school there. The only time I've had their beer was one time my parents were coming to visit me. I asked them to go to hit a store in between, where I grew up and here, and grab me some beers. Just give me something that my dad wouldn't drink because he's like a Bud Light Miller Lite guy. Just grab stuff that you haven't seen before. And I said, if you can find Penguin City, because they do have that in some of the giant eagles in Northeast Ohio, get me some. And they grabbed me the Penguin City Light, which is like their Bud Light, if you will.
Yeah.
And it was basically a Bud Light that wasn't watered down and actually had flavor. It was actually solid. But the thing is what I liked about it, outside the flavor, when they talk about with the community, I don't know how they got this license, but they actually had Pete the Penguin which is the mascot from YSU on the can. It's not like a kind of looks like it is Pete the Penguin. So that's something they probably have going for them there too. From what I understand, the brewery is not far from campus.
Okay.
So
yeah, maybe they're the official beer of the.
I mean, I'd imagine they would have to. Penguin City Brewing, like
yeah,
they would be okay if they didn't come up with some sort of collaboration with the university. That was just dumb.
Yeah, exactly.
Or that would be stupid not to. All right. So, what about Vector Brewing in Dallas? They exemplify a successful entertainment-driven tap room offering live music, trivia nights, and outdoor seating to create a welcoming atmosphere for all guests. These attractions appeal to a diverse audience ranging from craft beer enthusiasts to families, professionals, and more. Excuse me, enhancing the overall customer experience and fostering community engagement. Proven to drive traffic and increase customer retention, these entertainment options can be adapted to nearly any brewery, helping create, excuse me, the burping, helping create a dynamic and inviting space that encourages repeat visits. Any notes on that one, Denny? Thoughts?
No, I think one key thing to remember, a good outdoor space is very appealing to a lot of people, especially in a city that has nice weather, where people can come by, sit outside, bring their pets, without
So
having
not where
to,
I live.
well,
You have nice weather in like another month or so.
I
We have
mean,
nice weather for about 3 weeks of the year.
Yeah. So in Boise, it is. I mean, during winter time, it's cold, right? We have the snow, not as cold as Rochester, I'm sure, but still, it's, we get down to the zeros, sometimes minus when the winds are blowing. It's not good outdoor space, but in spring through fall, in the peak of summer, it can be a bit challenging because we do get 110-degree days on end. But if you have an outdoor space that has some shade, some water misters, like when COVID hit and everyone had to be outside, they built up these little pop-up, venues or little outdoor spaces, and it was great because we'd go out there and get misted on and enjoy some beer outside. So I like the outdoor space. I think that's pretty much the key there. I think that if you have a location that can have a space, I just listened to an interview of Barbarian Brewing here. They have their production brewery location didn't really have much of an outdoor space. They took a big chunk of their parking lot and turned it into an outdoor space that will be available this summer. And it's it's off the green belt, so people come riding by on their bikes along the river. They stop, they have a beer, they're enjoying the outside, they get back on their bikes and keep riding. That's key to getting people to come. And when the inside is full, you have the outside to fall back on. And that's the other thing is, I hate being in tight places with good acoustics. It's just I can't stay inside. It just drives me absolutely crazy to hear all that noise and everyone talking above each other.
Yes,
And I'd love to be able to step out into an outdoor space just to be able to, breathe a little bit. So I think that's the key
well,
there.
not only breathe a little bit, but just to be able to have a conversation.
Yeah, conversation. Yeah.
Because I don't know about you guys, but like if you can go into places where it's, hey, the beer's great and the environment's great, but like if I have to yell and lean in to have a conversation with you, I want to be able to go outside.
Yeah, I'm not 21 anymore. That's not
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah.
To be honest, you're gonna ask me a question, but when it comes to the beer scene here, most of the time I take my growler, I fill it up on my way
Fill it
home
up
from
and-
work, and I. But I'll tell you what. Speaking about just the last two topics, though, as a side note, when I was we go to the Great Wolf Lodge in the Poconos fairly often because we get some. Long story short, if anyone here homeschools their kids or as a group, you can get rooms for about 150 a night. But there's a brewery outside of, like, within 5-10 minutes of the hotel. I had to look up the name, Barley Creek Brewing. And now Poconos, where it is, it's near a ski resort. And we were there in it wasn't, when did we last go? It was fall. It was cold, but there wasn't any snow. Um, it's just one of those things. The atmosphere was nice. It looked like they had some outdoor seating. There was people sitting outside, but they also had the whole, because it's the Poconos, so they had the plastic sheeting up and the heaters and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm starting to think, despite all this stuff, it's starting to sound like this article. I don't know where he pulled it from. It's almost like someone who does content creation, since you guys do a podcast. It's starting to sound like no matter what you do, you have to do something to stand out from everybody else.
Yeah. No,
Long
that's the
story
key.
short. I mean, unfortunately, sometimes you get the people that stand out well, but they have a good product, but something else is lacking. And unfortunately, there's some places that do have some subpar product that's surviving. But
Yeah. If you don't have, so the keys to success what I feel to succeed in 2025, the keys are you have to have excellent product, period. But excellent product isn't, what everyone's saying is that's not the only thing that's going to keep you surviving. You can have a great product, but if you don't have butts in the seats, you don't
Doesn't
have
matter.
a way of getting people there, your great product is not going to sell well, and you're going to end up going out of business because you didn't bring them in. And so that's where the other part comes in, is how are you going to bring customers in? Why are they going to choose your venue to come to than other venues? And a lot of it has to do with the destination, right? If people like trivia, you got to have trivia. Now, almost every brewery has trivia. Well, that means they can go anywhere. Well, what's more unique? Finding the niche stuff like Tractor. When I heard they were having goth night, I was like, what? There's a goth community in Albuquerque, New Mexico? Who knew? But if that brings in that community to come in once a week to enjoy goth night with other like-minded people and drink the beer, guess what? You just brought in a whole bunch of people that weren't going to other places. And if you have a line dancing thing or whatever it might be, right? You have these different things that interest certain groups. They'll make an effort to come out there that night to drink your beer.
But the thing is also, you throw on top of that, if you can bottle your beer, I've been there. I like their stuff. They're going to pull it off the shelves on top of that.
Yeah.
All right.
We can.
Just a side
cut
note, this
through
Mortalis
some of
10% beer goes down way too easy.
Are you finished it? You just finished that whole 16-ounce can? All right, man.
Yeah, I'm going to make this interesting tonight.
Go grab that $25 bottle.
No. My backup is the Right On Red Ale by Grist Iron Brewing out of Watkins Glen.
Okay.
Way to go. Nice.
He said way to go. He's like, I'm proud of
Way
you.
to go. That's because you're mixing
thanks,
up the
Dad.
stuff. No. You got beers that I love brown. You started off with a brown ale. You know how I love brown ales, and I also love red ales. And you're finishing off with a red ale with a
They're my
pastry stout
favorite.
in between.
Denny, you're just the old version of me. I just don't complain as much as you do.
I think we all are in some form or fashion.
Okay, I think we've hit on that one. let's go into the other ways, other marketing streams, revenue streams. This is where it gets a little sketchy for me. So I'm going to go ahead and cover two aspects, and we can talk about it after I finish these. So first is expanding product offerings. As the beverage industry evolves, many breweries are expanding beyond beer. Now that's been going on for a while,
Yeah.
right? Samuel Adams was doing it with their ciders, and they were doing it with their seltzers, and they're doing it with all that other stuff. I mean, that's been happening slowly, but keep in mind those things have also faltered. They haven't kept up that upward mobility. So I don't know that's the solution, but I think that having that in your selection might be good, but don't go out of your way to put all your bread in that one basket. So beyond beer, leveraging their existing infrastructure to enter new markets such as spirits, coffee, and other craft beverages. This diversification not only drives revenue, but also helps breweries future-proof their businesses by tapping into broader consumer demands. Craft spirits and brew stilling. NoFo Brew Company out of Cumming, Georgia, was an early adopter of the brew stilling movement, successfully integrating a full-scale spirits production program within their brewery while continuously expanding to meet growing demands for both their beers and spirits. The success highlights how breweries can capitalize on their existing customer base to introduce complementary product lines and drive long-term growth.
I got 2 comments on this one. I'm sorry.
Sure. Yeah, I know.
It must
Go
be the
ahead.
10% beer I sucked down. One, I have no problem. Like when you see, like when I talked about Squids where I grew up, they make a hard seltzer, just a lemonade seltzer. One, I didn't realize it was a seltzer when I ordered it when I got my flight. It was actually solid. It's one of the few seltzers I actually liked, a hard seltzer. I'm sorry. So but like I have seen where there's breweries where they partner with, especially around here. I don't know if it's a conversation we have later. But like there's a lot of craft cideries around here, which I have a family that like my wife she has celiac. She cannot have gluten, so she doesn't get beers. So she goes to the ciders. So stuff like that kind of helps. But
Yeah.
then you look at Fifth Frame Brewing out of the city here, and I think they put a remote location near the bay in Irondequoit. They sell it's Fifth Frame Brewing because they're open in the mornings. They're a coffee bar, but yet they brew their own beers. And I've had a couple beers that they make. The beers are pretty good. I haven't had too many because they do a lot of IPAs such as Other Half, but because everything by Other Half is an IPA. But
True.
except I think once I seen one that wasn't, and I almost bought it, but I couldn't drop $25 on a 4-pack. But I bought a $25. Anyhow,
Also true.
I mean, on a side note, that doesn't. I just gonna call it out. But I don't know. That kind of falls in that, like, to the point where I think what happens where some places they think they have to focus too much on one, and they're gonna focus. I don't want to say too much on one. Like, my mouth and brain are not working because
alcohol.
no, but yeah, I wasn't saying that. No, but seriously, I can't think how to say it. How Fifth Frame does, they're a coffee bar in the morning and then a bar at night afternoon works.
Yeah.
But they also have a solid product too. And then if you can throw in one or two things, but around here, I'm seeing some places that are collaborating. Hey, I don't make hard ciders, but there's so many hard ciders around here. They'll throw one or two on tap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they partner up like that. So
yeah. So I mean, I guess I'm all for having a variety. I was concerned. So here in the local area, I've mentioned there's a brewery that that at one point was like really well regarded in the area, and it's kind of, I mean, they're still well regarded, but they basically just decided to ship all their brewing to Colorado and have the being brewed from another brewery, and they're focused on just doing ready to drink and seltzer type products. And I'm just like, I mean, that's just, to me, that's a mistake, right? That this brewery grew up in this area, had a large following, and now all of a sudden they're shipping all their stuff out and just doing ready to drink. Just seems, I don't know, seems weird to me to do that when they should have been focusing on just, brewing the good beer and and brewing these things. But maybe they can't devote, maybe this process of brewing these ready to drink brew stilling types behavior takes up a lot of the time, and they can't brew beer and that at the same time. Maybe that's the key, is they had to choose one, and I don't know. But to be honest with you, I've only had one seltzer, hard seltzer, and that's from Market 48 when they sent me the Blue Lightning,
Yeah.
which is a great seltzer. If all hard seltzers tasted like the Blue Lightning, then I'd be drinking those all the time. I don't think they do.
No, they
Right?
don't.
Yeah,
A lot of them taste like La Croix. They have no flavor.
yeah, yeah.
There's just a
And I don't,
whisper.
yeah, and I don't want to drink. I don't drink alcohol just to get drunk. I'm not a 21-year-old anymore or 18-year-old anymore. I drink because I enjoy the flavor, I enjoy the product, I want to enjoy the experience. And so for me, those if I want to drink a Moscow Mule, I'm going to make myself a Moscow Mule because I like to have high quality alcohol and ginger beer. I don't like to cheap out. I like to make a high quality drink. I'm going to make it myself if I'm going to drink that. Um, so for me, these things seem yeah, offering things that, if people don't like beer and provide them something else to drink, yeah, having a seltzer on tap, I don't have a problem. But then all of a sudden having all these ready to drink things, and, I like the idea you mentioned of having the coffee bar in the day
Yeah.
and then the beer at night. That makes sense. You have a space, and if that space gets traffic all day long, but you only have it open from 4 o'clock on, you're missing out on that opportunity to capture people coming in and buying your products. And so, yeah, I think that's a great idea. Modern Times, they were a coffee roaster and a brewery because they used their coffee in their beers as well. So it was like a good blend. If that's the case, I'm all for that. But I think requiring breweries, if they're going to succeed in the future, to have these things, I don't know if it's necessarily, like you said, maybe they don't need to do it themselves. They just need to bring in another local vendor that does it and just have their stuff on. That's what a lot of the breweries do here. They'll put a cider on from Meriwether Cider, which is the best cidery. I think one of the best in the nation, and definitely the best
Come to New York then.
I know you got to come out to Boise because it's a really good cidery, and so almost every brewery in town has a Meriwether cider on tap because they're not brewing their own. Some are, but it's just not, why they don't have the equipment that's, and experience to do it right. Just get one that's good. Same thing with the seltzers. If Clairvoyant is making seltzers that are good, hard seltzers, then why don't you go ahead and bring a keg in of Clairvoyant's seltzer, because they're already doing it and they probably have a little excess, and now you can have a seltzer for them. But I think having a small brewery have to also do seltzers, because I think that's not as easy of a task as it seems, right? To have that clean seltzer, base, and then adding the fruit on top is not an easy task as it may seem. And why task the breweries of doing that? They just need to focus on brewing good beer and bringing people in.
Do you think it's just one of those situations like what you explained? They decided that it's almost like they changed their whole, I don't want to say game plan, their business model.
Yeah. Their whole business model has to change all of a sudden. No, adapting
is one. That's
small,
one thing.
One thing, but making a complete paradigm shift, I don't know if that's necessary. All right, we kind of buried that one. Kris, I moved you down here to this down here. We're going to try to get through this. We don't spend too much time.
Well, no, it was kind of worked out very well because I love it when it's organic, but it's also kind of creepy because the next part of the article, Matt, was seltzers and coffee. and and a few other things. Matt Griffo said he was up in New York for spring break and cider is very popular up there. Literally everyone had at least 3 on tap, which makes sense. And New York, especially, not the city, but in upstate, I mean, you guys are big apple
Western.
producers. Yeah, so we'll give that too. You guys are big apple producers up there. But I also love it in the fact that Denny even said, he was like, "Oh, we've got lots of ciders here too." And it's kind of like going, "Well, New York wines are better." No, no, Oregon wines are better. Listen,
Oregon wines are better.
it was, see, and it's one of those, like
I couldn't tell you.
New York and Oregon and Washington, and I'm not, and what is it, Denny? The Yakima Valley in there, where
Yeah.
where a lot of similar things are grown: grapes, apples, hops.
Apples. Yeah.
They all kind of grow in that same kind of area. And guess what
Environment,
happens
yeah.
in New York? Grapes, hops, apples.
What?
Yeah. So, and it'll be a West Coast versus East Coast thing before we know it. So let's get on to restaurant and food offerings, because breweries with food programs often see revenue increases of 25 to 50%. Damn, I didn't know that. Making food service a powerful tool for growth. Beyond increasing sales, adding a food component can drive longer customer visits, higher ticket averages, and greater brand loyalty, as guests are more likely to return for a complete dining and drinking experience. It also opens the door to expanded operating hours, allowing breweries to capture lunch, dinner, and even brunch crowds. Breweries approach food service in different ways depending on their space, customer demand, and long-term vision. Some, like Vitamin C, offer a simple but effective menu of sandwiches and small bites, keeping the focus on beer while providing convenient food options. Others, like Tupps Brewery in McKinney, Texas, have invested in a full-scale kitchen operation, allowing them to serve a diverse, high-quality menu that makes their tap room a true food and beverage destination. For breweries that want flexibility without the overhead of an in-house kitchen, food trucks remain a popular option, offering rotating menus and collaborative promotions without requiring major infrastructure changes.
Yeah, this has become more key, and the problem is that brewers know how to brew beer. They don't know how to run restaurants,
Right?
and that's where we had the White Dog. We talked to Dan Jordan. Gosh, I'm trying to remember the name. Dan
Listen,
Jordan.
I'm proud of you for remembering
and
that.
and he said, "Hey, we know how to brew beer. We don't know the food industry. We don't want to take that on." So what they do, they brought in a chef, had his own, chef trailer,
Chefery.
moved in next door, and had him operate that business. He knows how to operate the business. He can do it right, and just allow allow them to the different venues around to tap into it, and get a small commission for bringing their customers there. Now, when we go into White Dog, you can get some food and beer, and everyone's going to be happy. The kids will be happy because they can eat something and not just be sitting there waiting for you to finish your beers. You can drink more beer because you're eating food. Everyone's happy. And I think that's going to become more important, because a lot of times when I have when people visiting, or when I'm setting up things for us to go after work and go somewhere, they say, "Hey, we need to have some place with food." And now, if you don't have something that has food associated with it, that venue is off the board.
Yep.
And so I think it is becoming more important that they have some way, and you can't necessarily just count on food trucks unless you have a dedicated food truck, because if you're rotating food trucks in, they may not show up, and you have no control over it.
Yeah.
And now you've just lost. If people come in there and they expected a food truck, it's not there. Okay, it's one beer and gone, because they got to go get some food. And so I think they need to think about it a little bit more. I think this is important. This is one of the things I think is important for breweries to take more serious, not necessarily do the full kitchen like the guy in Texas. Obviously, this place was a destination destination, so people would come and get a nice meal and drink some beers along with it. But you got to have something more permanent, and maybe the brewery can go in with a bunch of other businesses around the area to kind of like support that, whatever that would be.
Well, I even asked the folks that are watching live with us on Facebook. I said, "What do you look for in a brewery?" Haley said, "Atmosphere and variety of beers." Dan said, "Brewers who truly love their work." I said, "Dan, what do you mean by that?" Or I said, "How can you tell?" And he goes, "Well, if you talk to them, they get excited about your questions. They want to teach you, and you can hear it in their voice and see it in their body language too." Or Mike Blanchard, Mike, I don't know. You might be joining us in a couple of beers too. I'm not entirely sure, but Mike said solid choices for a range of people, decent food or access to food, which we just talked about, some types of activities or games, and a back door that drops you out into an alley with multiple exfiltration options. Mike, once again,
So
and Matt Griffo said dog friendly. Mike, once again, I don't know if you and I can hang out because we're going to get in trouble.
Oh yeah, we can get in trouble. I think I've already hinted at some of the fun times that Mike and I had back in the Navy days, but we'll keep those stories for a family friendly atmosphere. Or
no, yeah, I was gonna say, the man used the word the phrase multiple exfiltration options. I don't think we're gonna have to be family friendly when we start getting into that one.
Yeah. All right, we're going to skip down to the working with your community, because I think this is also a very important aspect of being successful is working with your community. So passion may spark the inception of a brewery, but strategic decision making determines whether it will endure. Sustainable breweries establish a clear vision to make early decisions to support long-term expansion. Hey, we're going to mention Penguin City again, for instance.
Again.
Yeah,
I just saw the article that they where they moved to, but yeah.
Okay. Did not simply open a brewery. They established themselves as Youngstown, Ohio's beer brand, deeply embedding their identity within the local culture. The beers are getting to me too. Their approach fostered community loyalty, transforming their beer into a staple of the community, establishing their brewery as a community hub. They've worked hand in hand with local leaders to host events that bring people together. Their tap room and versatile event spaces have become a vital part of the local fabric, accommodating community celebrations and events. So yeah, I think that, I mean, if you can, obviously, if they now have the Penguin logo, the official Penguin logo, that's going to be represented. When people see that, they're going to say, "Oh, this is a beer I got to drink on game day," because it's supporting the team, right? And if they see that they're, the best party for game day to be at is at the brewery, they're going to go to the brewery and be a part of that, of that fun, right? They want to be part of that. So, again, getting the community involved. Speaking of Mike Blanchard, last time I was there, we went down to Corvallis, which is where Oregon State University is. It just happened to be a game day where the Beavers were playing a football game. And, you could see that, we went into Block 15 Brewery to have some lunch and some beers. And you can just see that, a lot of people were all dressed up in their Oregon State gear. They're having a meal and some beers before they head down to the game. It seems like they've kind of embraced the, embedding themselves in the community as well with the college theme of Oregon State. So, I think it's important to be the place that people first think of when they come into your location. They say, "Hey, I need to go here because this is the focal point of the area." Kris, do you have is there such a brewery like that in Tampa that you feel that people, when they come into Tampa, they have to go to?
I hate to say it, but Cigar City.
Cigar City. Now, you think it's Cigar City because they were made famous by, I mean, honestly, it's sad that Cigar City got sold because they did brew some really, they do. I mean, brew some great beers, and we talked
No,
to.
they
Mhm.
so I talk a lot of shit about Cigar City, and it's funny because Matt Griffo, I asked everybody what they were drinking at the beginning of the show. Matt said he was drinking a Cigar City Maduro.
Oh, I
And
love that beer. Yeah.
and listen, I do too. And even better, Cigar City beers are buy one get one free at our local grocery store. And
Oh my gosh,
yeah,
that's a steal.
I
I
need that.
Thank you,
know.
I'll make
Monster.
sure to check when I'm
I
in Clearwater here in
know.
a couple
I
months.
know. Yeah, so they're currently buy one get one free, but and even when Dan and Jesse were here, I was talking to him about Tampa Bay Brewing Company, and I was also talking to him about Cigar City a little bit. Um, Matt, what do you mean? Matt said Coppertail, same experience, but just better. What do you mean by that? Um, Dan asked me, he goes, so if you were going to go to one place, either Cigar City or uh, Tampa Bay Brewing Company, where would you go? I was like, Tampa Bay Brewing Company. Now, I feel like I may have done him a slight disservice because I know that, okay, I had a Tampa Bay Brewing Company beer here. My glass for my stouts is Tampa Bay Brewing Company. I love when we get the chance to go to Tampa Bay Brewing Company events, talk to Dave Doble, hang out with those guys. Um, but me personally, I'm just kind of bitter about the whole being sold thing.
Chris, you locked up.
I
Oh
did.
Or
no.
you're back. Okay,
Am I
you're back.
back?
Repeat the last thing. You personally.
I'm just slightly bitter about the whole being
Yeah.
sold thing.
Okay. Yeah, I understand that, but
Yeah.
in reality, though, for the most part, people right now can get Cigar City beers on their store
Across the
shelves. So it's
country.
not
Yeah.
across the country, not as special. But Tampa Bay Brewing Company, you pretty much need to go. I mean, you can buy them around
Yeah.
the area, but you're going to go to the brewery and you're going to get experience of beers that you're not going to get in the store. You're going to, and there's still, you know, still an independent local brewery that is brewing some great beers, and you're going to get a good experience as well. So I don't think you. I mean, I hope Dan had a good time when he went to Tampa Bay Brewing Company.
Yeah.
Did he have a good time?
As far as
Dan,
I
let
know,
us know.
well, he didn't text me and say your, recommendations were stupid or anything.
We're
Yeah,
no
we're no
longer
longer
friends.
friends. And Matt
He
Griffo
wasn't just
said,
being polite, was he?
yeah, Matt Griffo said Coppertail with the same experience, but just better. He said he prefers Coppertail over Cigar City Brewing. And I think too, if you ever get the chance to visit Coppertail, they have a diverse selection of beers. They have a great tap room. They have great food. They have, tons of cool merchandise. Dan said we had a great time. Good. I didn't screw up the end of your trip.
He didn't say it was great beer. He just had a good time.
No, he had the Moose Killer barley wine.
Ooh,
Um,
nice.
it's American barley wine, Denny. So careful.
Yeah, but it's still barley wine.
Yeah. But yeah, there's a couple of big breweries that are still local breweries. You have Cigar City, Tampa Bay Brewing Company, and Coppertail.
Hmm.
And those are the three. Is there anything kind of that same size to me no, that one just got kind of taken away and they suck anyway. But
So
yeah, those are,
but Berry House is a smaller scale, right?
Berry House is a little bit of a smaller scale.
But if you want
But
lagers, that's the place to go.
yes, most definitely. Um, but the cool part is Coppertail is, I don't know, a quick Uber ride over to Berry House. Like it's in the same area. It's a quick, just quick little jump. And there's a lot of breweries that are really good all in the same area. If you go to certain places in Tampa, it seems like it's concentrated. Hey, there's 5 or 6 breweries that you can get to pretty easily where you're gonna have a good beer experience. It depends
Hmm.
on what you consider a good experience as far as the environment goes, but you're gonna have good beer experience. Uh, in a concentrated area because there's so many breweries around us. But yeah, I think those are going to be the big ones. If somebody was coming to Tampa, Cigar City, Tampa Bay Brewing Company, and Coppertail would be Go ahead, Matt. Would be the ones to go to if you had to come in, go to one or two places and get out.
Yeah.
That'd be it.
Okay. Okay. All right, Kris, why don't you finish off this article by reading the last little thing that I think Matt hinted at as one thing that also is
Yeah.
important.
Yeah. So distribution and canning, taking your brewery beyond the tap room. For modern breweries, success isn't just about what happens inside the tap room. It's also about reaching customers beyond your walls. Strategic distribution is essential to expanding market presence, increasing revenue, and building a resilient brand that thrives across multiple channels. Whether it's stocking shelves in local retailers, filling tap lines across the region, or establishing a strong presence in to go sales, breweries that embrace distribution are better positioned to scale sustainably. Perfect timing, Matt. I literally just finished that paragraph. You're muted.
It's okay.
That's great.
There you go.
Yeah, so I know that the lowest margin of profit is through
Tap room sales?
packaging.
Is it packaging?
Through packaging. The lowest margin is through packaging. But it's also, like Matt said earlier, it's important that you visit a brewery, and if you can find that beer out when you're at the local grocery store, or then you're going to remember it more and pick it up.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then when you enjoy that beer that you had in the grocery store, you're going to want to come back to the brewery and try more options you can't get at the grocery store, because the grocery store SKUs are very small. You might only have one beer from a brewery, local brewery, maybe two if you're lucky. And if you're really lucky, you might have six. But those shelves are getting a lot smaller for these breweries. So let's say you visit a brewery, you go in a store, you see one SKU, they have their lager. You're like, oh, that lager was good, but you know what? I really want an IPA, and they had a really good IPA. They'll go back to that brewery to get that IPA. So I think it's good to have that little bit of a lead loss in the packaging to get people to come back and drink the beers at the brewery as well. That's just my take on it. Okay, I think we did a pretty good job of ironing out, the trends that we talked about earlier, kind of seeing how it plays into being successful, what at least this article says. I'm all for community, destination, have something that's special for bring people back in. And then of course, having the great product, those are the key aspects there. And if you can venture out and, add a seltzer or something, that's fine. But I don't think you need to change your whole business plan just to, make that happen, because that may backfire on you. Okay, Matt, let's we're getting kind of long here. I don't want to keep you too much longer, but I do want to find out about the local craft beer scene in Rochester, New York. So I have questions in here, but you already said that you're from Rochester, that you're living in Rochester, New York for the last, 15 years?
10 years, 12
Oh,
years,
10
13.
years.
I gotta think, 13, longer than I lived in Atlanta, put it that way.
Okay. So what is the craft beer scene like in your local area? In general, just kind of like, there's like, around me, I have like 15 breweries. They, range from this style, whatever. Just kind of talk in general about what the craft beer scene is, whether it's good or bad, big or small, a lot of variety or not, a lot of ciders. You can even go into the ciders and mead too. Maybe ciders and mead are big in your area, maybe bigger than craft beer, but go ahead and talk about all that stuff.
As for the craft beer, I'll be honest. First off, I'm probably not the best person to ask, even though I live here, because of the fact I don't get to quote go out to the breweries as much. I'm drinking another one on that one. But no, couple breweries are close. It's one of those things we're seeing a lot of this. I want to say somewhat similar trends. We got breweries that are opening. well, not opening, but there's breweries that are here. Some of them have been closing.
Hmm.
Like I said, Wood Kettle near me, which is the closest one to me,
How long were they
was the
open
most
for?
recent. I would say maybe 5 years.
Okay.
I honestly don't
Okay.
know. They were open before I moved when I moved out of the city out to the suburbs.
Okay.
Um, so yeah. Um, but as for the craft, the one thing I do know about the people around here is, in particular, Jenny Brewery, who is not American owned. North American breweries is, I think they're Spanish at this point. Um, they just expanded. They put out this giant canning line. They're doing a lot more contract brewing. Um,
Okay.
but the one thing is when they opened the brew house, I cannot think of the guy's name, but they did hire someone who's in charge of all their quote unquote craft beers.
Hmm.
Um, their brewmaster there. But what's one thing is I do know is a lot of the breweries they work together. It's like, oh, I need these kind of hops. Here, I
Yeah.
got some. I'll sell them to you what I paid for them at cost. Or Jenny is known to actually give it to them. Um, I'm just trying to think because it's an article from a few years ago that I just watched a video that they made like a week ago. They were talking about Rock Brewing, who closed within the last year and a half.
Mm.
Um, that was the brewery that was closest to the Strong Museum which has the National Museum of Play. So it has the World Video Game Hall of Fame and the World Toy Hall of Fame. So they're no longer with us. And like I said, and Wood Kettle are the two of the most recent closings that I can think of. Um, but outside of that, I mean, there's a couple that are opening, moving, and growing at the same time. I
Mm.
mean, Roarbox has been around since the 90s.
Yeah, we
Um,
talked about them on a show. Yeah.
I actually had my wedding rehearsal dinner at their brewery.
Mm.
This is at the time before they had the Railroad Street location, which they do 100% of their brewing at the Railroad Street location now. Now, the area where I had mine, the original opening, well, I shouldn't say original, but the one that they had in Gates on Buffalo Road, that is purely a restaurant and brew pub now. Um, so they moved a lot of the brewing from there. Um, I'm just trying to think. There's it's still a lot of beers. It's very competitive.
Hmm.
A lot of them that are canning more are now actually putting their stuff in the shelves at the local grocery store, Wegmans, which is a local chain, which
Hmm.
has, I think they have Florida and Virginia locations.
Yeah, I've been to Wegmans.
No
Yeah.
offense, Rochester, everybody loves them. I just think they're overpriced, but that's just anyhow. Um, it's just an overpriced grocery store. I didn't grow up here, so I don't have that love. I mean, they say it's a family owned. Walmart's family owned too. Um, uh,
Yeah, good point. Good point.
but like unfortunately, I go into some places still when I stop in, I'll see predominantly 90% IPAs.
Yeah.
Um, I don't remember who, I hear it all the time, and there's someone who makes a beer who you can probably name it. Not everything has to be an IPA,
Hmm.
period. But at the same time, I brought up Fifth Frame. They're a little smaller. They expanded. They added a second location. I think the second location is mostly beer. I don't know because it's in Irondequoit, which is on the other side of the bay. For anyone that's not in Rochester, the Bay Bridge in the summer is closed to vehicle traffic. So you have to drive like 10 miles out of your way to get to the other side to where they are. So
Why is it closed to vehicle traffic during
because it's
summer?
open it's on the Irondequoit Bay, so the boating traffic can come in. So basically they have
Oh,
a bridge that's open to cars and it's about to close to vehicular traffic in the next couple of days and it'll be like this so the boats can get through.
oh,
For your audio listeners, it just goes to a 180 degree.
it just changes.
It
Yeah.
it just changes direction, so it goes from parallel then perpendicular to the road until
So
November
there's that
1st.
much. Wait, but there's that much boating access that it needs to stay closed all summer because boats are coming in and out. They can't.
Well,
They.
it's not a drawbridge. It's just I don't know. They made that decision at some point because it's the boating. The Irondequoit Bay is right off of Lake Ontario. I mean, for anyone who doesn't know, Rochester's on Lake Ontario. My house, it's a quarter mile from the quote U.S. border because it's right on Lake Ontario is a quarter mile away. I live along the bay. So there's actually a little sign that says U.S. border right on it. So I don't know if it's real or
Okay.
joke, but it's been there for a minute.
You
So
should
you're
take
almost
it.
Canadian.
I think I would probably that might it's so old and it's only like about it. I don't know what size is this. I'm gonna weights and measures. I should know. It's probably maybe like a 6x6 sign. It's so old and rusted. It's probably government issued.
If it's old and rusted, it's got to be government issued, but you need that for your something room.
I'm a government employee. I can't do that.
Listen, there is I can't, and then there is I won't because you're trying to make good decisions. So,
I plead the fifth on that one.
uh-huh.
Okay, so Matt, how about what's your favorite brewery then in the area?
I mean, Rohrbox is still a classic, despite the fact I complain about their uh, not having their regular porter. They've been around. Their beers are good. They don't experiment too much, but they still put out a different seasonal. I don't say like a seasonal beer all the time. Right now, they have something called Josh's. I saw it in the stores. I can't remember what style it is. It's probably a hazy or a triple IPA at this point, um, just to go with the trend. But I haven't been in the restaurant in a minute because of kids, but like their food is really good. They do like German beer, I mean German
Okay.
food. So you can
Yeah.
get pierogi, I don't want to say pierogies, but you can get a bunch of different types of sausages, schnitzel, everything
Mhm.
else. That's what they were.
Sounds
That's what they were
delicious.
known for. That's like it's why we had our wedding rehearsal dinner there. Um, so you got that. You got Three Heads is one of the bigger ones. They have the big outdoor patio. They have food trucks. They don't serve. They don't make their own beer. It's all food trucks. Their beers are very solid. They got um, the Kind is their flagship IPA. It's a good atmosphere. They have good beer. Um, Iron Tug is not well known so much. Probably it's more busy now that it's on Park Ave because they get more of the foot traffic because that's kind of like the trendy part of town.
Mhm.
Um, so I'm glad they're doing better than where they were. Um, but if you want to talk about the Rochester itself, I mean, I think we have a roughly 32 breweries just in the county itself. And if you expand it outside of that, I mean, Mortalis, like I said, is 20 minutes for me. It's just in
Yeah.
Livingston County. It's the next county over. It's Mortalis makes amazing stuff.
Yeah.
Strange Bird is on the Strange Bird's like well known now, and they've only been around for probably the last 4 to 5 years. If someone from Rochester knows, please mention in the comments here. They're fairly new in all comparison. They're off Marshall. They're on Marshall Street. Um, so which I haven't made it to there yet. I haven't even had their beer on tap or even in a growler or crowler. It's all been in cans from a local store
Mhm.
because I got but one advantage I think we do have, I mean, being here when you talk about the beer scene, AJ's beer warehouse closed within the last 6 months. They were known for a craft beer store, but they had a lot of walk-in room fridges. It used to be like
Mhm.
a food supplier location, but they closed. The building actually is gone now, but yet you still have Beers of the World out in Henrietta, which literally you can get Beers of the World that's broken down. Germany, oh well, you can't get Russian beer right now. Um, Germany, like every country you can think of. Plus, then they break the U.S. stuff down by states. And all those
Okay.
places you can get your sixes, your 4 packs, your singles. Um, you have that. You got the One Stop Brew Shop out in Kris at Ridgeway and Long Pond. It's a very small store, but they have a very good selection for such a small place. They have probably about 10 beers on tap that you can get crowlers and growlers filled for.
Mm.
Um, I mean, that's where I bought this Mortalis from, which sometimes you might be able to find this at. Uh, you can't find Mortalis at the local grocery store, but at the same time, 5 minutes from my house, I have this little convenience store called North Greece Grocery on Long Pond Road.
I think
It
Mortalis has a smaller, like a distributor that focuses on like key products because I get them here in Boise, believe it or not.
that's
The
good to know. Do you
the
probably only get a very
very few
few
of them.
select?
Yeah, there'll be
I mean,
like 3 or 4 at a time that will come in. The problem is that they are not cheap.
They're not cheap here. I will tell you that right now. I've bought a bottle of Zool. I think I paid like $9-10 for it, which I highly recommend. Because by the way, Zool is the reference to Ghostbusters.
There is no Dana, only Zool.
Exactly.
Yeah. But
I mean,
so I think Mortalis is definitely I think a well-known, makes it out of the area. I've had it. I've seen some of our listeners drink it on Untapped, so I know that one's one.
But I mean, other half open a brewery. I'm gonna say the greater Rochester area. It's out more. What town is it in? It's a county over. I'm totally blanking on the name. I've been by it a million times. I'm trying to think of the brewery that closed that they moved into. Anyhow, but like other half has a quote Rochester location. It's still probably half hour from here, 45 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For being a city, Rochester isn't it's not like it's a small city. The people here complain when they have a 45-minute commute, and I just laugh because after living in Atlanta, I have the same commute distance-wise. It was a minimum 90 minutes in Atlanta. It's 40 minutes on a bad day here. So
I don't want to have longer than a 20-minute commute.
I have about a 15:35 if I catch every light red and there's an accident. So
if I'm on a good day, I can get to work in 12 minutes, which is I'm happy. On a bad day, it's 20 to 45 minutes depending on how bad it is. But I'm in a small,
Boise, I think, is bigger than Rochester.
So how many people are in the greater Rochester area?
You're asking the wrong person.
We've got like 1 million in our area if you count.
I'm cheating. I'm pulling up the.
Not 1 million. I'll say 500,000.
I did too. So currently, as of 2023, 207,000 for Rochester, and then Boise.
I just hit the wiki.
Yeah, you're about the same size. 235 for Boise as of 2023, Denny. I know you guys have been having a little boom.
Yeah, we've had a lot of people come into our
area. We
and
haven't, but at the same time, somehow this city was voted for the best pizza, and I'm just
that's the best. Wow, you got some good pizza then. And pizza
sure.
and beer go well together.
Outside of the one pizza place, I can totally recommend Purple Monster. There's a plug for you.
There you go, Purple Monster. All right. Okay. How about what local beers do you enjoy the most? Just list three local beers that are your go-to beers.
Iron Tug. That's the first
beer.
one.
I want the beer. Iron Tug. What?
Oh, they're just their porter. It's
the porter. Okay.
I can't think of its name.
Okay.
And then if you get to Canandaigua, which is the next county over, it's the greater Rochester area. Their 45 Fathoms porter is amazing. It's really good.
Okay, so I see a trend. 2 porters. Okay.
Yeah.
And then you can, and I'm in Rochester. I have to say the Aurora Box Scotch Ale. That is a staple.
Okay. There we go.
That is a Rochester staple right there.
I love a good Scotch Ale.
It's a very good Scotch Ale.
Okay. All right. And then let's see, what styles would you like to see more of in your area?
Rye beers. Okay. Rye beers. Rye beers.
Right.
He's gonna die on that hill right there.
All right. And Kris, ask the last question.
What reasons would you give for people to come to visit the Rochester beer scene?
It is probably one of the most underrated beer scenes. I've actually found a video that put the beer scene here right up with Asheville.
Really?
But you have to be willing to drive. I mean, Uber. There's, like I said, in this county, I think there's roughly 30 breweries to begin with.
Wow.
Just in Monroe County, there's roughly 30. I don't know what the recent number is. I mean, like I said, I had one near like 5 minutes from my house, and I live up on the lake. If you count the greater area, I mean, you start going out into where Mortalis is, you hit the stuff in Canandaigua, next county over. I mean, other half technically has a brewery in the greater Rochester area. Those are finger quotes for all you audio listeners. They call it their Rochester facility. So, I mean, there's just a lot of options, and you can have a garbage plate. So,
Oh
A
yeah.
garbage plate. Yes, the famous
Mm.
You have to have a
plate.
garbage plate. Oh yeah.
All right. Well, I think we got a good glimpse at what Rochester has to offer for beer, garbage plates, and
A wide variety. You got
and wide variety
a
garbage
wide variety of
plates.
beers. Of
Wide
beers
variety.
and garbage plates.
All right. Well, Kris, you want to go ahead and I think I don't want I want to keep this under 2
Let's
hours.
skip it.
So
Skip the new and noteworthy.
we're gonna skip the new and noteworthy because we had so much conversation, great conversation, Matt. I really enjoyed having you on with us, and but we do need to close this out because we're all getting tired. I don't want to keep you too much longer. But is there anyone you'd like to raise a glass to tonight to give a little cheers to, there, Mister
I'm gonna,
Matt?
I'm gonna cop out. I'm gonna give cheers to my wife, Lindsay.
Of
Thank you
course,
for putting up
that's
with
not
my
a cop
crap.
out.
And tonight, and I was streaming last night and giving me time to every once in a while play games with the buds. So
Mm.
Cheers,
Lindsay.
Cheers,
Love
Lindsay.
you.
Yes, yes. All right. How about you, Kris? Who'd like to raise a glass to tonight?
Well, I mean, I can't go without raising a glass to Matt for putting up with our nonsense for the evening
Yeah.
and having
Shouldn't I
the-
reverse? Shouldn't I reverse that? Isn't I should have toasted you guys for putting up my nonsense.
Well, we'll call it even. We'll cheers this. We'll have a sip in everyone's honor for putting up with each other's nonsense. But thank you, Matt, for joining us, man. We really appreciate having you on here and chatting with us this evening. And Denny, who would you like to raise a glass to?
All right. Well, I'll start off a toast with our Patreon toast goes out to Mr. Chad Lamassa. Yes, cheers, Chad. Thank you for being a Patreon for many, many years. And of course, I've already mentioned it a few times, but I got to raise my glass to my daughter Haley. Today is her 30th birthday. Yes, my baby girl is now 30. Whew.
Cheers,
Oh, wait,
Haley.
should I have said that? She's 29, I mean.
She's
Listen,
29
she
forever.
put it on social media, so it doesn't matter.
All right. Well, cheers to everyone. And of course, being a former serviceman, I always want to raise my glass and thank all those who have served and are currently serving in the U.S. military services, protecting our freedoms. Thank you for your service, and I hope all who are deployed are able to return home safely to their families very soon. And you can find the beers and the links to the article mentioned on the show in the show notes located on the show post at taptocraft.com. And it is last call. It's time to bring this show to a close. We want to thank you for downloading and listening. We ask you to please tell a friend and, of course, subscribe on your favorite podcast app. And as a reminder, we release a new show every 2 weeks. Now go out there and spread the good word of craft beer.
Cheers.
Cheers.